Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christie, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy, the recap. So today we are recapping Dr. William Bruno. He is a well-known plastic surgeon out in Beverly Hills who actually kind of had a moment of recognizing that he really cared about people's health. Just as much as the physical look of them, he wanted to help them physically with their heart health, with their lungs, with their bodies in general. And what I really liked about Dr. Bruno is his reality could be something very different than it is. So when you think plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills, I don't think health doctor, but he has decided that that's really where his focus is. So he helps women, predominantly women, reconstruct themselves in the way that they want to see themselves. However, he'll only do it if they're healthy. And so he's really leaning into helping people eat right, sleep right, take care of themselves so that they can look their best on the outside and the inside. And what I think struck me most about Dr. Bruno is that we have a choice every day to use what we know to help others or to keep to ourselves. And so I'm always honored when I have authors on or doctors or people who are giving of their talents outside of their four walls, right? It's really easy to stay within your inner circle and only help those who you are close to. But it's something else entirely to write down what it is that you're good at, put it in book form and hand it to somebody else and say, here, you don't have to be with me to know what I know. Here's everything that I know, and I think this will benefit you. There is power in that. It is legitimately why I wrote my book. So Learning Can Stick was birthed out of the fact that I have been educating people my whole life. I mean, like literally my stuffed animals in my room when I was in kindergarten. I have always been just drawn to teaching. And I was raised by an entertainer. And that entertainer taught me stage presence and how to hook an audience and how to get people to pay attention to you. And that combination was a really good one in a classroom. And then it became a really good one outside of the classroom when I started teaching adults. See, I transitioned from teaching high school to teaching teachers. And what happened in that space is I recognized that there were some conditions that were necessary for people to learn. And those conditions are that you create a safe, logical, fun, and memorable environment. And that's repeatable, right? And I recognized that it was repeatable. And so I said, you know what? I am going to create a book that walks people through how to repeat the things I know to be true, right? It's because if I am running, let's say it's a conference and I'm asked to speak, I am going to be at the door greeting every single person with a scratch and sniff sticker and a smile and some sort of personal connection. And then I'm going to connect them to the people in the room because it's safe when you walk into a room and you know at least one other human being. Logical. You have to have a plan. You have to stick to the plan. You can't be the only one that knows the plan. How often have we said things like this just happened to my son recently. He was called into HR and he just, can you be in my office in 5 minutes? And he's like, holy crap, what did I do? Like, what's happening? Are they going to fire me? Because we never think, oh my gosh, yay, this is a good thing. And it was a good thing. It was actually a really great thing that they wanted to talk to him about, but he had that angst because he didn't have enough information. It's not logical to leave people hanging that way. So if you send a text that says, hey, we need to talk, that doesn't go well because it's never a, yay, we need to talk or we get to talk. And so what if you said something more along the lines of, hey, I need 10 minutes of your time because I'm really struggling with this thing and I know you could help me. That's a totally different experience. Or maybe if you are getting called into somebody's office, it's, I need to talk to you about the Smith file because the Smiths are coming in at 2 and I know you've been working really hard on that particular group. Well, we don't do that, right? So we need to create that condition. The fun, you guys know, I'm all about productive joy. And the fun means that people feel valued and appreciated, that they have a voice and they're allowed to use it, and that they're able to leverage their talents for the greater good. All of that means fun. It also means music and laughter and telling some kind of silly industry joke to get people to smile because that's what our neurons fire. That's why social media is so addictive because it releases dopamine in your brain and it gives you what you want. Well, we have to create that for others if we want them to learn from us. And then the memorable part, y'all, you have to sprinkle, splash, flood, drip, drip, drip information. You can't just one and done people. But those are things I learned over years of practice. And I want to give that to others, which is why I wrote the book. And I think that's what Dr. Bruno's trying to do, and what so many of our guests are trying to do is give people something they can use that's repeatable. My conditions are repeatable, and it's something that I know people would benefit from. What do you have inside you that's repeatable that people would benefit from? Because I don't want you to hide that anymore. I want you to let it out. That's productive joy. That's taking something that is uniquely yours and turning it into something that other people can benefit from as well. That's special, right? And I think we all have a book in us. Many, many people say they want to write one. Very, very few actually do, but that's something I can help with. I am an author coach and I do work with a couple publishing companies that are pretty epic and could definitely get you across that finish line. So if that's something that's been swirling around in your head, maybe that's why you're listening today. Or maybe you're just trying to figure out what message you want to share with others. What's the thing that you're learning the most about? I mean, I have become a bit of a connoisseur of podcasts. I love learning, and I get to sit with these brilliant people for sometimes 2 or 3 hours and learn from them. Gosh, that's powerful. And yet, if I don't use that information for anything, then I just got myself some smarts and I'm not sharing it. So my encouragement for you today is to figure out what it is you know a whole lot about, and then how can you share it with others? Maybe you're a brilliant guitar player and you could give lessons. Or maybe you have learned a lot about sleep and you could talk to people about that. Or maybe you are a CEO for the first time and you are figuring a lot out and you could write down the steps for being that CEO so that somebody else doesn't have to stumble like maybe you had to because you didn't have a guide. We all have those kinds of brilliant things in us. And Dr. Bruno reminded us that it's okay to share them, even if that's not your primary job. People aren't coming to see him to find out about their heart health. They're coming to see him to see what they can augment. But he is telling them about their heart health in the process. I think that's pretty special. So today on Productive Joy, I need you to lean into what is it that I offer the world? And then am I sharing it? And if I'm not, what's stopping me? Is it a will gap or a skill gap? Is it that you don't know how to get your story out there, or that you're afraid? Those are two different things, both of which I can help with, but we don't want you to just feel like you have to keep that to yourself, because you don't. So today I want to encourage you to lean in to your talents and recognize that they are important enough that you share them with others. Don't hide them. You're too important for that. And I can't wait to hear them. So send them my way too. You can email me at Christie, CHRISTIE at intentionalitygroup.com, or message me on any of the platforms. I'd like to hear from you. And today, I need you to grab something that you're going to do that's going to make things look different. And then I need you to figure out a way to turn fun into action.